So I'm back with my last part, I hope, of the video. As you can see, I've colored everything black. All the edges have been done. Before this video you'll find a picture. I've taken the picture, so I'm be sure to post it. And in that picture all the black parts are still white, so you can see better, I think, which part I left on. The reason why I left these parts on, I think, will be obvious in a little while. After this, what I did was stamp the image again. Make sure this is on camera. I stamped it again. I did the shadows. I hope you can see, with a little bluish grey. I did a couple of colors and blended it. I also did the edges. I first cut them using my nestability, and then I did the edges using an ink blending tool and my Distress Ink Stormy Sky. You want to do this step, so the distressing of the edges as well as the shades of the shadows, before you start gluing everything together, because afterwards it's going to be very difficult. First, the nestability, impossible to do afterwards. You'll just flatten the whole thing out again. You'll destroy everything you've just created. So you need to do the nestability, the shading, as well as the edges. Much easier if you do those last steps before you start gluing everything together. Okay, to glue everything together I use a Dutch product, which is Olba lime kit. Glue kit, lime is glue in English, or well, you know what I mean. It's a transparent glue, and it's very thick. It's very strong. When it's dry, the little pieces will go nowhere. It's also very good for things like flowers and all those larger embellishments you want to have stay on even through the mail. Perfect for it. I don't know any glue that works better. The only problem is I don't think you can get it in the United States. You have to order it from the Olba website in Holland. There is an English variety which is available in the UK, and that's called Pin Flare. I'll put a link on my personal website, and you can check it out if you want. But I tried Pin Flare in the USA as well, and couldn't find that either. I contacted Olba because I wanted to help you out if you wanted to have the same stuff. Because, like I said, it's perfect for all your gluing. But no such luck. They couldn't help me on a web address or anything in the USA. So I'm afraid you'll have to order in Europe. Well, you also want to order these little syringes. They're just perfect for this. And I'm just going to fill one up. They're also by Olba. I'm going to do a lot in it because it's a little bit difficult to fill the syringe afterwards. So you don't want to put too little of it in the syringe. Only bad thing is it does dry in the syringe, so you can't keep it. I've read somewhere, I think on the Olba website, that you can save the glue in the syringe. I haven't been able to, so don't know how they do it. As you can see, I've colored all the edges black. For the same reason I've colored all the other things black. And there's a very little part here, I don't think you can see, but it's red and W9. I wanted that to be the back layer. Okay, so now I'm going to glue everything together. I'll try to be quiet, because I don't think you want to hear me talk all the time. And I'll try to do it as neatly as possible. It's just trying to figure out, it's like a little puzzle, I guess. Where does this piece go? Where should I put the glue? Well, you could of course stamp the image like 8 times or something, and you can just cut it out every time and keep the whole puppet, I guess, for just this little hand. But well, you'd have to color everything black as well. And I figure I already spent some, I always use a little tweezers, I guess you call this. Pincet in Dutch. Parrot tweezers, I think you call it. Okay, so that's the first layer. Just a very little layer just to get the hand down. I'm shaking, but that's because I'm kind of nervous on doing this video. Always scary. Oh boy, my hands are shaking. It's also because this has to be good. I mean, if something goes wrong, I can't just get everything loose from each other again. I have to start all over with the coloring. And I really wasn't planning on it. Just a little blue outside there. Okay. So as you can see, I did a lot of blobs of this glue. And I'm just going to try and get this part on. The larger parts are always the more... Well, no, that's not true, because very small parts are kind of difficult as well. I just have to try and... It's just like normally when you see me crafting, it's like I'm with my nose almost on top of the paper. And now there's a camera between me and the paper. So makes it a little bit more difficult. But I'll overcome. Let's see what layer's next. I think the jacket. You can see, after you place the little piece on, it's still possible to just modify it just a little bit. In fact, I've made mistakes in the past, and it's even possible, if you are quick enough, to just remove the piece, put on a little bit more glue and just do it again. I love this glue. I used to work with little foam cubes before, and then my friend Carmen, she said, well, why don't you try this stuff? And she bought me a tube, and I've been using it ever since. So thank you so much, Carmen. Love it, love it, love it, love it. And like I said, oh no, oh, it's so much more difficult to do this from a distance. I just try and do it like this. Oh, my stupid hands are shaking. Okay, so that's the belt. I think you call this the buckle. Not sure though. Let's see how it's supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be like this. Voila. Now its sleeve. First the black sleeve with this hand. And now you can see why I left all the pieces on that were in the lower layers. Or well, I basically left the stuff on that was on the top layers. I hope you know what I mean. It's because, well, it's much easier to get it 3D because you need a lot of glue if you just cut the pieces that you'll need. Okay. Try and it's a little bit more difficult to do this way. I normally, like I said, am with my nose almost up against the page. But that's not possible this time, so no worries. This little fella has shoes. As you can see, I've used a slightly smaller nesty than the picture is. But I'm sure you've all been used to doing this with our normal images. Oh, need to be working inside of the camera shot. Hope you didn't lose too much there. No. Like I said, I do make mistakes. It's like a little puzzle. This one isn't even that bad because it doesn't have that many pieces. Some of the Alison Action images I did on my blog. I took pictures of those so you'll be able to see, but there were dozens of very small little pieces. Those were much more difficult to do. These Normaficals ones are actually very suitable to start doing your 3D. And other big advantages of a big advantage of doing this 3D stuff is, as you've seen, I've cut everything out. So if you're not perfect in coloring, like I am, I have to admit, and sometimes you go outside of the lines, you don't have to go over those like a million times with your blending Copic, or I don't know how the thing is called, or have to start trying other things with wide gel pens or anything, because you cut out the pieces. So okay, now very small pieces, because I've always also done these. Oh, this is slightly harder getting this on from a distance. Okay, now to figure out, I think this part is and voila. Next. Already 14 minutes, so sure hope you guys are patient. It's like a whole movie I've started here. I have no idea how to cut in these movies, so in these videos, so I'm afraid you'll have to sit out the whole thing. So sorry.